Good evening. Hi. It's 7 o'clock on November the 7th, 2021, and it's time for 7 at 7, your mini life coach session on Sunday. 7 at 7 on Sunday, your mini life coach session. So welcome tonight. Welcome tonight. I'm Jean Aaron. I am Coach Jean, your life coach for the evening, and it is absolutely my delight, my pleasure to spend about 10-15 minutes with you to share a mini life coach session. I'm usually with my clients about 45 minutes to an hour, but tonight I'm gonna spend about no more than 17 minutes with you to share tonight's topic. And tonight we're going to be talking about, why are you feeling so defensive? What is it? Why you got your guard up? We're going to talk about what those feelings of defensiveness is all about. Okay? So I'm sure most of us find ourselves getting frustrated and find ourselves in a position or just in a feeling of being defensive, defending ourselves, having to defend ourselves for some reason or another. Somebody made a comment or made a critique or said something or acted in a certain way toward us, expecting us to be a certain way, and we didn't. Expressing disapproval and disagreement with us, and we get defensive. We put our guard up, and we start reacting. And I'm sure that we all feel that way from time to time. We do. It's just nobody's exempt from feeling defensive. Defensiveness is one of our natural, we're gonna react. Somebody push a button, somebody pushes one of those triggers, find that trigger and push it, step on our toes, whatever it might be. We are going to feel defensive. All right? So do you feel it? Do you ever get that way? Do you ever get frustrated? Do you ever get a little bit aggravated with something somebody said or somebody did, or, and you had to, put your guard up and, tell them a thing or two? Yeah, we do. That happens. So tonight what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the feeling of defensiveness, what the feeling is, what is it? What is it really all about? And we also want to talk about and hit on how can we get a better handle on that defensiveness and those feelings, so that we can just be more effective at coping with situations and those triggers and those buttons being pushed. All right. So first we're going to start off by agreeing on an understanding of why we feel defensive. Is it necessary? Is it something that is just necessary? Well, I've already said that we all have been in that feeling or that mode or that place of defensiveness at some time or another. So it is something that we all feel. So yes, we do experience the feeling of defensiveness. And basically what the feeling is it's an instinct. It's an instinct to an attack, an instinct or reaction, instinctive reaction to an attack that we've sensed or that we've felt or that's happened to us or that we perceive by someone in some way or another. Understanding that it's a mechanism, an instinctive mechanism for self-protection, and understanding that we don't get it'll help us not be so frustrated about it or so angry with ourselves when we find ourselves in that defensive feeling. We find out, that's what we are. So understanding that it is natural. Somebody pushed a button, somebody said the wrong thing, critiqued you the wrong way, didn't like the way you wore your hair, didn't like the way what you were wearing, didn't like the way you said what you said, just didn't like who you are. So we got to get defensive. It's just a natural instinct. So since it is a natural instinct, we understand that it's going to automatically cause a reaction. We don't even have to think about it. In fact, we really don't think about it. They say it, they push the button, they hit that trigger, and we're on. That trigger and that button pushes and we're on. Don't even have to think about it. Click, it's on. I'm defensive and I'm getting ready to defend myself. I'm going to do something here, in this case, in my defense. But do we have to? When we're reacting, we're not in control. It's just natural instinct behavior, natural instinctive feelings. So how do we do? What do we do? Do we get rid of our feelings? No, you can't really get rid of feelings. It's not really a good idea to try to stifle feelings and cover feelings up and hide feelings. No. So we don't try to get rid of them, but what we do is we acknowledge them. We acknowledge that we acknowledge that they are real. We acknowledge that they're ours. This is a feeling that I'm having. I'm feeling this way. Yep, I feel this way. Yep. You push my buttons. Yep. I'm ready to defend myself. Yep. I want to tell you a thing or two. Yep. I want to do all that. I want to defend myself. I want to tell you off. I want to fix this. All right? We're reacting. All right? But when we understand that it's a reaction rather than allowing us an opportunity to respond, you mean I can respond to it? You can respond to it. You can respond rather than react. And I'm going to tell you that responding is much more effective. It's much more productive. It's much more useful. And it's much more problem solving than reaction. All right? Reaction is the opposite, usually. Usually when you react and you're not thinking and you don't have any other feeling in there, but I'm protecting myself and usually sometimes the best defense is an offense. So it turns into an offense when we're reacting and we're going on impulse. So we're going on instinct rather than, taking control. We are not our feelings. Our feelings are like our thoughts. Our feelings like our emotions, our feelings like our imaginations. Our feelings are just that. They're feelings. Our thoughts, they're just feelings. They're just thoughts. They're feelings. They are tools that we use to identify something that needs our attention. Now, we can give the attention by reacting to it, or we can give the attention by being involved, aware, open, aware, and attentive to it. All right. So how do we do that? How do we develop that skill of responding when those buttons are pushed rather than reacting? Well, breathing has always been one of my most disarming and empowering actions and tools in my arsenal of creativity and manifestation. Okay. I want to manifest something. I got to breathe. All right. So breathing that's your key there. All right. Disarm and empower. We often forget to breathe when we're reacting or things happen and we got to react to it. Or we forget to breathe when our mind goes on its little rampage and starts developing and conjuring up all kinds of thoughts and go on a crazy thought train, runaway train. We forget to think when our blood pressure starts rising and we get hot and start feeling, all right, we just stop breathing. So breathe. 3 breaths is all it takes. 3 breaths. All right? Someone just pressed your buttons and turned on your feeling of defensiveness. All right? You are on. All right? Breath number 1. Breathe in. Breathe out. Acknowledge your first reaction. And that first reaction, acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it's there. But don't do it and don't say it. All right? Because that first reaction is going to be to turn on your defense. No, don't turn it on. Don't turn it on. Breathe. Okay, breathe. Take that second breath. Breathe in. Hold it for a second or two. Let it out. And acknowledge that second reaction. It came and it went. First one, it came and the same thing like the first one. You didn't put your defensive up. It wanted you to, but you didn't react to that. I'm not putting my defensive up. I gotta listen to that. I'm gonna hear this person out. I'm gonna hear this person out. Gotta hear it. Listen, right? The second breath, that second reaction would usually be you getting ready to tell them a thing or two. You're getting ready to take those thoughts, one or two of them, put them together, and you're getting ready to spill something out on that person, okay? You're going to explain something to them, or you're going to attack them instead, okay? You're going to change that defense to an offense real quick with that second. That was a second reaction. But you're not going to do it, and you're not going to say it, all right? Breathe in through third breath. Hold and let it go. Well, now you have taken the time to not defend, to not explain, to not attack. So now your thoughts, that train is slowed down in your mind, your blood pressure's kind of lowered itself, you're feeling a little cooler. Now you're ready to find a solution to whatever it is. Whatever that situation or that problem or that disagreement, this whatever it was, disapproval, whatever, you're ready to deal with it, handle it, respond to it, all right? You've diffused, disarmed, and taken control of those thoughts, those feelings. You've recognized them. You didn't bury it. You didn't push them aside or say, I'm not feeling defensive. Yes, you're feeling defensive. You're feeling it, but I'm not going to react. I'm not going to react to that feeling. I'm feeling defensive. Yeah, I want to explain, but I'm not going to react to that feeling and that desire to tell them a piece of my mind. No. I'm going to respond. I'm going to respond. My feelings, I'm going to respond. They're my thoughts. I'm going to use my thoughts to find a solution to what's going on here. In most cases, I would advise my clients to resist the temptation to defend themselves and to make excuses for whatever it is that has been presented to them. You don't need to. You don't need to defend or make excuses. And you really don't need to explain yourself. And you definitely don't need to attack the other person in order to get their attention so that you can do those things. You don't need to do any of that. But you get to decide. You get to choose. You don't run off, allow your feelings to run you off into something that is not going to do either one of you any good at all. Not going to solve the problem. If anything, it's going to create a bigger mess for you to deal with at some time. So try that. Most times most times complaints and explanations that we give are negative anyway. And in my opinion, there's a misuse of good energy. All energy is good to me. Absolutely every energy, all of our energy is good. It is what the result of that energy does that deems it unproductive or bad or whatever. All right? So take control and respond. Respond will guarantee you that you will get to decide whether this energy is going to be productive or not. All right? You can, you take control of it, your feelings. You take control of it. And you manage it instead of allowing it to manage you and manage the situation and manage itself. All right? Most times when we find or we hear this criticism or this critique or these opinions, it's usually because of a difference, the differences that we have between one another. And we're really basically disagreeing on the fact that we're different. And we all are different. We are all different. We all have different perspectives, different ideas, different feelings, different thoughts, different imagination, different perspectives. We are different. And instead of acknowledging that sometimes, we critique and criticize each other because you're not like me. I don't like that because you're not like me. Well, you know what? Learn to honor the differences that we have in one another. And it will probably disarm many of our needs to be defensive, many of our needs to find fault with one another or have to explain ourselves. It will get rid of all of that. So learn, first of all, to just resist the temptation to, to be defensive, to defend yourself, to find excuses for yourself. All right, just let it go. Be happy. Allow the other person to be happy. All right, let's just agree to disagree, whatever. Understanding and accepting and respecting our differences, again, will eliminate, in most cases, the need to defend, the need to find excuses, the need to find a reason to attack. Make an effort next time somebody pushes your buttons or you find yourself in a situation. Make an effort to use these 3 breathing steps and be okay. Learn to be okay with being misunderstood, being different. Learn to be okay with that. But do your very best to make an effort to understand the other person. All right? It's better. It's more effective for you to try to be understood, for you to try to understand, than it would be for you to try to be understood. All right? But be okay with being misunderstood. Just be okay in the end. It's okay. Responding again is always, always better than reacting. Always, always better than reacting. Much more productive. And you're in control. You're in control. We manifest best when we're in control. And that's what I'm going to leave you with tonight. We manifest best. Have a great, great week. Resist. 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 Resist defending yourself. Resist making excuses for yourself. And get used to and get okay with being misunderstood. Have a great week. And until next week, take care. Manifest best. Take care. Love you guys.